Ooh-wee, a 4-0 sweep, baby. We got some research help and a fun NBA debate. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we have a special edition video for you today. It is going to be a lot of fun. That thumbnail you saw, that's right. We have an NBA debate at the end of this video, ranking those 5 players. It's going to be fun. I want you guys to participate, so stick around for that. It is going to be at the end of the video. But some of you might be wondering, what the hell are you doing a video for today? There are no NBA games. Well, we still got a bets recap to go over, and we still want to give you that NBA research help. Yesterday was point guards. We are now going to give you info for the shooting guards today. But seriously, though, why in the heck does there have to be a day off when we just had a 4-0 sweep? We're on an 8-1 run. They're trying to kill my friggin' momentum, my mojo. But that's right. We'll get it back on Wednesday. But this is going to be a fun video. Like I said, I can't wait for that conversation at the end, ranking those 5 players, a little debate. Might get me a little heated. We'll see. I don't know. But other than that, guys, we're just here to have some fun. No basketball today. No really any sport. At least the 3 major sports. So why not just do a video? Let's talk some basketball for those of you that are just basketball junkies, which I know you're out there. So as you guys know, if you are new to the channel, we are more than just bets. We like to talk sports. We like to have fun with you guys, interact, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we got going on in this video. But before we dig into all of that fun stuff, please hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, we talk NBA, MLB, and NFL. We do daily videos all week long, every week, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you do. Like the video. Please leave a comment. I know you guys are going to have some opinions about that debate, that's for sure. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. In the 4-0 sweep, the bets recap page, baby. Look at this freaking beauty, guys. Let me just say this. I'm not a cocky person at all. When I get excited about winning, it's because betting and winning is freaking difficult. So I get excited about it. The brooms are out. That's right, baby. 4-0 sweep. 76ers minus 11.5. They won by a million. It never really was in doubt, especially in the second half. Ben Simmons over 8.5 rebounds. Guys, he cashed this in the first quarter, I believe. I might be wrong on that. First half. It was unbelievable. He had 4 rebounds in the first 3 minutes of the game. He clutched up. I think he ended with 15 rebounds. My same bet, I am now 2-0 on. Steph Curry, 4+ threes, and the Warriors money line was a winner. Steph Curry hit 4 threes in the first quarter. Just unbelievable. More on him later in this video. Warriors money line, that got a little sweaty, that's for sure. But they pulled away, got an 11-point win. And then Chet Holmgren over 27.5 PRAs is a bet that I added. I added this bet when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was not going to play. He was out. About an hour later, 45 minutes later, all of a sudden he's upgraded to questionable. And then sure enough, he plays. The line went down to 25.5, so I didn't have value. I was worried about it, but he came through in the fourth quarter, got over, and got the job done, even on a bad shooting night. So thank you, Chet. What a great bet, Chet. Anyways, that's the 4-0 day, baby. We are now in the positive. Gotta freaking love it. 17-16 up 1.11 units overall. That's the breakdown of all different type of bets, game bets, player props, moneyline parlays, and we've only done that one Friday parlay so far. So that's the bets recap. Now, before we get into that debate at the end of this video, let's go to some NBA betting help. All right, for those of you that missed the video yesterday, every single day of the week throughout the whole year, we are going to be going through each position in the last 15 days. Yesterday was point guards. Today is shooting guards. Wednesday will be small forwards, power forwards Thursday, centers on Friday, so on, so on. We'll also have some specialty ones in there like shooters on fire, teams against the spread, home and away, over-under records, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to give you as much help as we can. We are not just here to give a couple bets and move on because I don't think that's as helpful. So here we go. So here we are, shooting guards. Now, NBA is not positional right now, so it's tough. You got to pick some of these players into what category. Are they a point guard? Are they a shooting guard? They play both sometimes. So just bear with us. We're going to at least try to stay consistent and keep them only in one position. But if that's, if you think someone's a point guard, then compare his stats versus what that team gives at the point guard. So you should have a screenshot of all these every day during the week, and it'll be the last 15 days every time. So here we go. The most points per game given up to shooting guards. The Pistons are leading the way, giving up 26.14 points to shooting guards, all the way down to the Grizzlies. Not a lot of difference between 1 and 10. I mean, we're looking 23.84 at number 10. But yeah, those are the teams that give them up. It's early in the season. These are going to change and all that. But On the right side are the shooting guards that have scored the most points in the last 15 days. And by the way, last 15 days is pretty much just the whole season. It's been, I think, about 14 days or something like that. So Donovan Mitchell, he now that Darius Garland is back, he is technically a shooting guard. So Devin Booker, who's been on and off hurt with that calf strain, is second. Desmond Bain, Anthony Edwards, who just had a hell of a game as they beat the Celtics. The Minnesota Timberwolves have now beat the Celtics and the Nuggets, by the way. And then Tyler Hero for the Miami Heat, 25.8. We talked about him and how good he's played this year. Jalen Brown, Zach Levine, Scary Terry Rozier. Looks like he avoided a injury that I thought he was going to have a couple days ago, but he was back today. DeJounte Murray for Atlanta, and then R.J. Barrett for the Knicks. Those are the top 10. Just to kind of give you an idea of who's scoring the ball well in the last 15 days, maybe they got a good matchup versus one of these teams on the left, so on and so on. So that's just points per game, though, guys. We got more. Let's go to the next slide and let's get to the rebounds now. All right, it's time to talk some boards now. The most rebounds given up to shooting guards on the left side. The Pelicans leading the way, or not leading the way, at 9.23 rebounds given up to shooting guards. Take a screenshot of this. That's the list of the teams. Obviously, this will change quite a bit early in the season. Last 15 days, the shooting guards on the right side. Devin Booker seems to be at the top of every one of these lists right now. You could consider him a point guard. I get that. Some of these, you can move position to position. But Booker, 7.5 rebounds per game. Anthony Edwards taking the next step, 6.2 rebounds per game. Jalen Brown, not a surprise. He's a good rebounder. Shaden Sharp of the Blazers having a good season as well. Braun, Giddy, who plays pretty much every position out there. Tyler Hero, Suggs, Huerter, Desmond Bain rounded out with 5 rebounds per game. So take a screenshot. Those are the rebounds to shooting guards. And now let's end it with some assist talk. Here we go. Those are the top 10 teams giving up the most assists per or two shooting guards. The Washington terrible crappy Wizards 7.80. Then the Nets 6.85, so on and so on. Not really any surprises. It's really kind of hard to know what is a surprise, giving up to just shooting guards. But on the right side, look who number one is, Devin Booker. As you can see on all these, also he has an injury thing. He's dealing with that calf strain as we talked about. But Kyrie Irving, he handles the ball too. Consider him a point guard if you want. Luka kind of handles the point guard most of the time, but Kyrie is 7.3. DeJounte Murray 6.2, Mitchell 5.7. Mitchell's number is a little high because Darius Garland was out. So just to keep that in mind, now that Darius Garland is back, he'll probably not get as many assists. But yeah, DeLon Wright, kind of a surprise for the Wizards, 5.2. And so on and so on. Not a huge difference in assists other than Devin Booker and maybe Kyrie Irving. Other than that, number 3 to 10 is just 6.2 to 4.9. So not a huge change there, but we're talking assists to shooting guards, so it's not exactly their number one strength for shooting guards. But anyways, hopefully this helps you. Take a screenshot again. We have a couple pages up for the point guards yesterday. Go back to that video if you want. Hopefully you can get every position, and they can kind of help you through the weekend and into next week before we give you new numbers for the last 15 days. So that's what we got. Now let's have some fun. Let's talk a little NBA debate. All right, let's have some fun talking basketball. That's right. For those of you that followed us in the MLB season, we did movie Mondays and all sorts of fun things. We want to do NBA debates all season long, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So for this first one, we are going to rank 5 players from number 5 to number 1. I'm going to tell you why I think they're that number, and we're just going to talk about them. And I know you guys are going to have your opinions. So first, let's pull it up. Who are those 5 players? We got Mr. Tim Duncan, Steph Curry, Shaq Daddy himself, Kobe Bryant, and KD Kevin Durant. We are to rank these 5 players. We are going to assume that all of them are in their prime. So not right now. Obviously, Tim Duncan is retired. That would be a little silly. But anyways, this is not easy. These players are freaking awesome, but we're going to dive into it. I'm sure you guys are already creating lists in your head as to who you think number 1 is and all that. We don't have MJ and LeBron on this list. That will be a separate debate. Don't you worry. But here we go. I'm going to start with number 5. The tough task of saying one of these 5 players is the worst player on the list. I got to go Kevin Durant. It's tough, guys. To be honest with you, he may be the best pure scorer I've ever seen, and I still have him at number 5. The only reason I don't have him, I guess, really higher is probably due to some leadership, health issues. He just doesn't quite have the ability to just absolutely carry a team, put him on its back, and go. He has 2 titles. We know that. He has 2 titles by joining on with someone else on this list and winning 2 titles with that Warriors team. He played well. I'm not going to take it away from him. Like he just carried it, or he just kind of rode their back or anything. But when he had other teams that had some talent, he didn't exactly carry them to winning many titles. But I just think the other four kind of had more of an impact on the game than KD. But man, this is hard to say because KD is so freaking good at scoring the ball. But plus, I mean, he was a little sensitive. Let's be honest. This had nothing to do with it, really. But I mean, he's had some struggles with the media, and he just seemed to be grumpy all the time. He seems to be getting a little bit better, but just the reality of it, I mean, trying to say this guy's not good is impossible. But just leadership wise and just someone who can take over games and carry teams to championships, I'm going to have to put him at number five. Now, the next one, this guy, holy cow. For those of you that are really young, you may have no clue who this guy is. Mr. Tim Duncan, maybe the best power forward to ever play the game of basketball. They called him Mr. Fundamental for a reason. By far, and I mean by far, the least exciting player on this list on and off the court. No joke. Quiet off the court, and it wasn't flashy or anything. He was Mr. Fundamental for a reason. He just didn't make mistakes. He was also top 10 in rebounds, top 10 in blocks. He played on both sides of the ball. He was literally a walking double double. And he played on some really good teams too. But he did average around 20 points and 11 rebounds during those prime years, if you don't count kind of the last couple of years. But he mastered the art of the angled bank shot. If you guys watched him, you know what I mean. I mean, he was like, I don't know, 10 feet away, had an angle, and he hit it like it seemed like he made 99% of those shots. It was unbelievable. But 16th all time leading scorer, not too shabby for a guy that doesn't hit threes. It did help. He had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Greg Popovich as the coach, all that. But you know what? As a good player, if you want to win titles, you got to have other good players around you. He won 5 NBA titles. This guy, like I said, I mean, if you want to go watch highlights, I would recommend maybe not. Because I mean, you can just to learn about him, but there's a lot of other more exciting players. I mean, even a guy like Jason Williams, White Chocolate, if you remember that guard, he was much more exciting to watch. But anyways, Tim Duncan, you cannot argue the fact that he is one of the greatest NBA players of all time. Offensively, defensively, it was just done in a different way, and good for him. So Tim Duncan is my number four. Now, number three, Shaq Daddy Big Diesel, baby. That's right, the most dominant big man to ever play the game. That's a fact. I mean, I don't even think that's an opinion. I think that's a fact. There were games where he just couldn't be stopped. He had a drop step that was just like you kind of knew it was coming, and it didn't matter because he weighed 400 pounds. He was strong, and he was actually pretty agile too. I'm going to assume his prime he kind of had an earlier years where he was younger, more athletic, a little skinnier, and then he bulked up and was just huge and a bully later in his career. But I think the bully stage was probably the prime of his career, to be honest with you. Um, you know, he's not mentioned in the greatest players of all time because no one really talks about a big man that way. They don't control or influence the game as much as like a guard or like a MJ or LeBron when they can do so much more all over the court as opposed to a big man who's just kind of dominating the key. At least back then, big men now just shoot threes all the time. So, but he was the eighth leading scorer of all time. Imagine just think about that for a second. The eighth leading scorer of all time when he doesn't shoot threes and he can't make any free throws. And he was the eighth leading scorer of all time in basketball history. It's just insane to me. He won 4 titles, 3 with the Lakers, 1 with the Miami Heat. Um, I mean, the negative to him, maybe that I shoot free throws left-handed better than he shoots free throws right-handed. And can you freaking blame him? The basketball probably feels like a golf ball that he's shooting. But man, oh man, he was the reason the hack a Shack was invented. It's not used much anymore, obviously, but Shaq Daddy is the man, guys. He is the best big man. Leave a comment below if you disagree with it, but I just don't see any other big man, at least in my generation, that was even close to him. And he plays his style of play. You would never see a big man like him anymore that just doesn't shoot threes or leave the key at all. But anyway, Shaq Daddy, number three. We go to number two. Now, I almost went the other way on this one. I'm going to be honest, but I will stick with this. Maybe my favorite basketball player of all time, or at least top two, top three basketball players of all time, is Mr. Steph Curry. That's right, number two, Steph Curry. I don't think he's as far off from the elite of the elites as you guys think. He has impacted this game so incredibly much. I mean, I'm not going to say people are shooting more threes because of him, but they probably are. Let's just be honest with you. I will say it because he is just the range that he has and just how he affected the game from the 3-point line. And then as he got older, how great he is at going to the hole. Also, I mean, he is crafty as hell when it comes to getting to the hole. He's not just a shooter at all. I just think someone like him who has transformed the game that we play now, you got to have him up there as a top player of all time. He's going to be number two on this list, but 35, 35, 35th right now on the all-time scoring list. He's still got a lot of years to play. He'll move up, but a big reason for that is he stayed at Davidson for 4 years. He didn't enter the NBA at age 18 like the next guy on our list. But pound for pound, Steph Curry, best player of all time. My God, guys, he is 6'2". He's skinny. He's bulked up a little bit in his career now, but how is he so effing good? It's unbelievable. The quick release. But here's one of the things that I've talked about it before in my videos. What I love about Steph Curry the most, he may be the best off-ball player in NBA history. If you see him, I've seen replays of him running all over the court, knowing how to use screens, whether it's fading off of him, curling around him. He just reads the defense, but he will sometimes run just like miles and miles around the court and then eventually get the ball and score. The defenders have talked about it after the game and they just hate chasing him around. I think this guy has, like, if you're playing NBA 2K on video game, I think his stamina is 128. Like, seriously, Steph Curry can run all over the court. He never looks tired and he's just unbelievable. Now, a weakness, he's not the best defender, guys. Again, he is a 6'2 skinny guard. It's not one of his strong suits. I think he's gotten better actually as his career gone on, and he bulked up a little bit. But that's not why he's on this list. That's for sure. He has won 4 titles. He has the clutch gene. He has the leadership gene. He has absolutely everything. I am amazed when I watched him play. Just the eyeball test and the exciting test. He is unreal. He's so much fun to watch. And you guys, disagree with me if you want. If you don't think he's this high, or maybe you guys think he is better than the next guy on the list. But Steph Curry is number 2 on my list. Now the final one. It was hard to put this guy over him, but Kobe freaking Bryant. Man, oh man, was he amazing. Came out of high school at a young 18 years old. He had similar characteristics to one of the greatest players of all time, Michael Jordan, in that he didn't have many friends because he didn't care about friends. He only cared about winning. That's it. He didn't care about anything else. He lived for the game of basketball. He wasn't going to quit until he won title after title. He was one of those guys, win 4 titles, he was still not satisfied. I mean, he wanted more. Um, 5 titles overall, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 18-time All Star, and the fourth leading scorer of all time. This guy was unbelievable. Had an incredible fadeaway jumper. I mean, he backed you down and turned around. You just thought it was going in every single time. I honestly wasn't a fan of his in regards to he was just too good and he just dominated. So the hatred was more of just jealousy for him. But man, oh man, he's a top 10 player of all time in my opinion. I don't put him up there with MJ and LeBron, but the downfall for him is that he was somewhat of a ball hog. He kind of lacks some efficiency at some times in this game. He would just shoot a ton of times. He wasn't a player like MJ or LeBron that I think would make players around him better, especially LeBron. He wasn't a guy that was great. He was a good passer. He was fine, but he wasn't an elite passer that always made the right basketball play. He was there to score. He was there to beat the defender and just stare into his eyes and let him know that I just scored on you and I'm going to do it again. That was his kind of that Mamba mentality, as we like to talk about. So also it came with a little drama, him and Shaq and some off the court stuff and all that, but that doesn't really matter. He was an unbelievable player. Rest in peace, Kobe. But man, oh man, I don't think Steph was that far off. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was close, but I will put Kobe as number 1. Now I'm counting on all of you guys to leave comments. I know you got opinions here. Um, Let me know if you even know who Tim Duncan is, you young kids. But other than that, guys, maybe some of you are going to put Shaq number 1. Maybe Steph number 1. I know we got a lot of Kobe lovers out there, so I'm sure you guys don't disagree with what I got at number 1. But that was fun. That's a little just NBA debate, and the debate is between me and you guys. I want to see all the comments. I'm going to respond to you guys. I'll call some comments out next video on what some good comments, good points, or anything that you guys say. Funny, not funny, good stats, anything like that. So I love good stats. I'm a stat nerd. So that's what we got, though. That was a fun video, just giving you some help, talking some NBA basketball debates. We will be back for the Wednesday video. We got a huge slate of games in the NBA. We're excited to continue that 8-1 run. Let's keep the momentum going. Thank you guys, as always, for the support. I cannot thank you enough. It's unbelievable as we are on our way to 8,000 subscribers now. Just mind blowing. So, thank you guys. Hope everyone has a great day. We'll talk to you soon.